Coming up on Tech Thing, I just dumped Comcast Internet, got a new provider, the best in big titles and indie games from E3. The Eclipse is coming, and be internet awesome with Google. All coming up on Tech Thing. Thank you, patrons. Without your support via patreon.com/techthing, we would not be able to make the show for you each and every week. We are grateful, and hey, we'd love you to join the crew that makes Tech Thing possible at patreon.com/techthing.
I'm Shannon Morse.
And I'm Patrick Norton.
And this is Tech Thing, where we have something useful in every single show.
Oh my goodness.
We have a lot today.
So we're going to be speaking quickly because there's a lot of excitement going on.
Lots of news out of E3. Super excited about that. But first...
It's Tim Cook. Steve Jobs, not Steve Cook.
Oh, and I should mention, it's laptop. Laptop.
Just leave your laptop open.
My laptop?
Your laptop.
I'm sorry if I spit on you.
It's okay. I have children. There's probably nothing in your spit that can scare me at this point. Once you've had the giant... Let's just change the subject because all the parents in the audience know it's coming.
Oh, I don't even want to know.
No,
don't even go
don't.
there.
No, you don't. The Total Eclipse is coming.
Yay! I'm so excited.
I've never seen one, so I'm completely stoked. August 21st. Really cool tools up on MrEclipse.com.
Cool.
So if you've never seen it, go there. Amongst other things, they have maps, for example, of states in the path of totality.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, where Mr. Eclipse has generated everything, and you can download these, and it shows you the actual path.
Wow.
But what's really super cool is if you keep scrolling down, there's the EclipseWise Google Maps of the Eclipse through the USA. So it's an interactive map, and I just interacted in a place I didn't want to. But let me open this up. This is the entire path of the eclipse.
Okay.
And then if you go to it, let's say it tells you when the partial eclipse starts, the total eclipse, the maximum eclipse, the duration. So
it gives you times depending on what location you're at and how much of the eclipse you will see at a certain time.
It's so awesome.
Nice.
I am so excited about that. So if I open this up a little bit, so...
Wow, that is some serious geek cred right there.
It is an amazing piece of work, and everybody who touches this also drops too many markers like I just did. But you can kind of decide where you want to be and take a look at that. And it is just rolling right across Oregon, Idaho, Wyoming, Nebraska, a little tiny sliver of Kansas, Missouri.
Okay.
Corner, you know. So I brought that up because we had a question from Barb who emailed, could you consider explaining how to photograph and video the solar eclipse using a smartphone?
Ooh, that's a good question.
It's interesting because the rules for a DSLR versus the rules for a inexpensive pocket camera and a cell phone vary greatly because the sun is hot.
Yes.
Telephoto lenses are pretty much a necessity, and like I think a 50 millimeter DSLR lens will give you a 0.5 millimeter image of the sun.
Whoa!
So if you want to get up to like 5 or 9 millimeters,
I need a new lens.
Yes.
I don't have a telephoto lens.
Well, start thinking about that. So I'm researching this myself. Filtering options are a big deal, especially if you want to observe it with the naked eye, number 14 welder glass. Okay. Shop around because there are a lot of things you can buy on Amazon that are basically an inexpensive piece of welding glass in a $250 cardboard. Excuse me, $15, like a $14 piece of welding glass in like $14 worth of paper glued to it. So, you know, or you can just buy regular welding goggles. Shop carefully. I know we have some astronomers out there. I would love to hear your thoughts on how to photograph the sun, your tips on viewing an eclipse, using a smartphone with that. Email us, ask@techthing.com.
Yay!
Because I'm going to the Oregon Outback.
Yeah,
and I'm going to go,
Oh, you're going to have so much fun. I'm considering going with a couple of my friends up towards the Oregon area myself, but I haven't confirmed that yet.
You're thinking like Portlandia.
Well, fly into Portland and then drive somewhere is their plan.
East. Because Portland,
that's their plan.
Portland could be obscured by cloud. Apparently the eastern states may be more obscured than the western states.
Really?
Well, it's a little early to predict weather too. So.
Yeah, that's true.
E3. I was down there for like 12 hours.
But I appreciate all the photos and videos that you got.
I just ran around capturing B-roll because, well, if you go to E3, you wait in lines. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah,
if you want to play a game, you wait in lines. You'll see.
Yeah.
What has you most excited about E3?
I would say,
E3?
well, I'm a big Xboxer as well as Nintendo-er, so those were the things that I was focusing on. However, I did notice some really cool PlayStation 4 games coming out as well, which I'll mention. First off, though, I did want to mention the cool new Xbox One X. You can find tons of information over at Xbox.com about this. Basically, it's a $500 console. It's the brand new Xbox One X, which some people are calling ZOX. Apparently it is the smallest Xbox ever, and it releases right before holiday season, November 7th, also right before my birthday if anybody feels like getting me one. Apparently it's 40% faster processing than other consoles, and that includes the PS4. It includes 4K HDR, 12 gigs of RAM, 6 teraflop GPU, which is pretty hardcore, and 1 terabyte hard disk drive space for all of your video games. It does look small from the renditions that we're seeing online, and from what we've seen at E3, it does look rather small as well. But people are kind of debating about whether or not it's worth the upgrade or not. For me, I'm probably going to hold off. It looks awesome. I will probably borrow somebody's, but I don't know if I want to pay the $500 right now.
Do you have a 4K
upgrade.
TV?
No, I don't. So that's the point.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really need to upgrade because I have an Xbox One. So I don't know. I might hold off.
Is your Xbox One about to die? Is your Xbox One dead? Do you not own an Xbox One?
Exactly. It's doing very well for itself, so I'm probably just going to hold off. Another thing I'm interested in is Skyrim on Switch. We didn't get a lot of information about this, but so far what we know is that it will be playable on the Switch. It will have Amiibo compatibility, and you can use the Zelda Amiibo to apparently get Zelda shields and armor and things like that, and of course the sword, in the game, which is so weird. This is going to release in the fall, and other than that, we don't really have any other information. So that's what I'm looking forward to it too, though, because I'm a big Skyrim fan. Metroid 4 is another one that we heard about. Other than just seeing a teaser trailer, we haven't heard much. Metroid 4 is going to be playable on the Switch too. Other than that, no official details yet, so still waiting on that one. Another one I am very interested in for PlayStation 4 fans is this one called Monster Hunter. So this looks really interesting, it looks beautiful, and apparently it is a Capcom franchise, so it's kind of a remake of an older game, I guess, but it releases in 2018, so that one will be very interesting to look forward to.
It looks pretty.
It looks very pretty.
And it has giant swords.
It has giant swords and monster hunting, and how can you go wrong with that? We also got to see a trailer for Shadow of the Colossus, which also looks absolutely gorgeous on the PS4. So Shadow of the Colossus is a remake as well. This one is for PlayStation 4, and it looks amazing. I'm not really sure the details on this game, but from what I am getting to see so far, it will be playable in 4K, and it's just sexy. I'm not gonna lie. It looks really pretty. Is it bad to say that?
I've never been a big fan of people describing hardware as being sexy.
I think it looks really cool.
I mean, I also never thought I'd see a remake of Castle Wolfenstein, so hey, what do I know about video games? That was the most bizarre thing. I'm like walking up to E3 and I'm like, man, it really
the Wolfenstein one.
really is, it's happening.
Yeah.
I'm actually really excited about it. But.
I'm really excited about that as well. Anthem by BioWare, this one looks amazing too. So apparently in this game, it's you have a playable female character, which is a definite plus for me, and the baddies in this game kind of sound like Daleks from Doctor Who, if you listen to them. If you listen to the trailer, it's really funny. So in this game, you work as a freelancer. You run around in an exoskeleton that you can upgrade to your liking, so you can be a flying character, like this main character in this demo, or you can be one that crashes into everybody and is just like the destroyer of death. It looks really interesting. This one also looks like it has a very open world concept, so I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, just look at those graphics. Oh, man.
I think that's the big. I think that's the big deal.
Beautiful.
For just some of the detail.
Yeah.
That was going on in the demos.
Oh my goodness, they're just so pretty. I just want to play all of them. So my husband is going to be really excited about this one, PlayerUnknown Battleground. I'm sure a lot of you are playing this as well. So apparently they are introducing 2 new maps and 3D replays, which is going to be great for Twitch gamers. Plus they are adding new dynamic vaulting systems. So if you have played this game already, you probably know that you have to like run around fences and stuff like that. So now you can do things like climb up on a wall.
I'm sorry, is that
example.
a parkour video game?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's like Battle Royale with like 100 people on an island.
Got it.
It's interesting. My husband loves this game, so he's going to be really excited that he can finally like flip over cars and climb up on fences as opposed to running around them. And the last one I wanted to share with you is Doom VFR. I have an idea of what the F stands for, but I don't want to say it on the show. And I can't show you much of the trailer because it is for adult audiences, but basically it's Doom in VR, and it looks freaking scary. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, if you played this as a kid or if you ported it to any of your devices, because everybody knows Doom can be ported to everything. You know Doom can get rather scary if you play it at night, at least like I did when I was like 8 years old. So.
Oh my goodness.
But that would be cool, Doom in VR.
Doom in VR.
Dude, awesome.
It was interesting because I saw somebody demoing Doom in VR. And you know, I was watching the video, and one of the things that struck me wandering around E3 was there was a lot of people teaching how to use the remote controls or how to control the VR
well, it's
games.
still fairly new.
It is,
right? A lot of people haven't played with them yet.
There's no real standard set of moves across all the different platforms.
Yeah.
Indiecade was really cool. That's a small area with a bunch of smaller developers. Survios Sprint Vector VR game getting a lot of attention. Lots of teaching, like I said, how to use the controls in the VR games. And then people were going off. It is an adrenaline pumper, as they call it. One of the things I thought was really cool, Ben Wander presents A Case of Distrust. Ben Wander's A Case of Distrust. Looked really, really cool. It's a narrative mystery from 1924 San Francisco. He plays a private detective, Phyllis Cadence Malone, in a historical 2D adventure game. So you basically get to go into all sorts of crazy, nerdy, underground kind of places.
Oh, cool.
In this concept of San Francisco in 1924.
Awesome.
That really, really caught my eye. And I will say a lot of what catches my eye initially in the indie games, or the Indiecade area, is these visually stunning or incredibly creative games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another one that really caught my eye was Where the Water Tastes Like Wine, a bleak American folktale. I love the fact that they've got, you know, the Nuevo Muertos skeletons, and they've got elements like Big Rock Candy Mountain, El Dorado, the Promised Land, the place just over the ridge where they all say that the water tastes just like the sweetest wine. That looked really, really interesting. Capto Glove, which was a Kickstarter project, but I actually got to see people using it in real life. The world's first wireless wearable controller for gaming and smart devices. I think they're selling it for $211. That's the price I saw at the booth. Shipping this month.
Okay.
I wanted to get video of people using this, but the way they were using this in the game they were playing it made it look like they were doing something obscene with themselves, and I didn't want to get beaten up for taking video of anybody. And on a completely different mood, retro-bit.com, they do all sorts of like 8-bit HDMI consoles and stuff. Really cool website and company that I had not seen before. But check out the video, the Mega Table.
Yes.
It's going to sell for $450. So cool. It's pretty self-explanatory what it is. Yes, the giant buttons work.
It took me a moment to realize what it was that you were looking at, and then you clicked on the buttons, and I was like, oh!
She exploded.
Very cool. Thank you so much for letting us know what you got to see there at E3. A lot of the indie games, especially, they don't get a whole lot of coverage, so what I see online is going to be very different from what you see there.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to see what you get to experience while you're there at the con.
Let us know if you'd like us to do like an in-depth or a special from E3. It's a tough show for us to cover because it basically involves waiting in lots and lots and lots of lines, and you know, our news is going to come after the news from all the major outlets because they put teams of like 15 people down there. So let us know what you think. Ask@techthing.com, and let us know what games you're looking forward to because we're curious. Like many of you, I have been looking for, and Shannon,
Yep, me too.
I've been looking for a less expensive alternative to Comcast cable internet for years, specifically one that doesn't involve going to a ridiculously slow upload speed.
Exactly.
DSL, I'm looking at you. Seriously, I have been looking for years, and while there is competition in my area, it's usually either so slow as to pretty much dump us into the majority of Americans that don't have more than one broadband option, or it requires you to have like an 8-unit building somewhere in San Francisco. And since I don't plan on ever moving to San Francisco, that's out of the question too.
Yep.
So 2 or 3 weeks ago, my buddy Don emailed me a link to Common.net and asked me, do you know these guys? And he teaches me how to sell. I help him with his computers. It works out really nicely.
Nice.
I'd never heard of him, but after about 30 seconds online, I knew they were a startup with a bunch of engineering and business talent from Square, and that they were promising 50 megabits down, 50 megabits up for $50 a month, taxes included.
Wow.
And I was signed up to get installation.
Okay.
Can you imagine? So as of this week, the website now promises 75 megabits per second down, 75 megabits per second up for the same flat fee of $50 a month, and there's no contract required.
Nice.
What makes it really ridiculous is right now in my house, I've got 200 megabits up, like 180 to 200 megabits down.
Oh my goodness.
7 millisecond ping times, and a $50 a month internet bill.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Can we get that here in our warehouse so I can upload videos faster?
We'll talk about that in a second.
Oh man.
So, well, there's kind of 3 things going on that. One, you can only upload video as fast as the server at the other end lets you, right?
That's
you
true.
can only download as fast as the server at the other end lets you. So having like, I've got a 200 megabit per second pipe. Well, you're going to have a 200 megabit per second pipe and, like 5 megabits coming down if things are going really, really awesome. It's an interesting setup, right? Because for about a week, there's been a little tiny blue light pulsing on just above the roof of my house at night.
Oh, like on the outside?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's a small shoebox-sized 5 gigahertz antenna on the roof of my house now, which runs to an Ubiquiti box on a tripod that's attached to the roof of my house.
Okay.
And then the cable runs to a box inside the house, which is literally a hide the cable stuff box. Well, those boxes where you like put all the chargers and then you feed the thing. It's like one of those with a couple of Ubiquiti power over Ethernet adapters and a tiny Leva PC that looks exactly like this one.
Oh, how strange.
And the PC runs Common's mesh network. Quote, similar to the software-defined networking methodology used by modern data centers. And what that does is allows them to create a mesh network between a bunch of homes in the network or in the neighborhood and the fiber that connects them to the internet. So it's interesting. It works. It works extremely well. And even at 50 megabits up, I'm getting way more upload speeds than I have ever been offered in the past for anything less than an incredibly expensive business account, which I'm seriously down with. It's like a video editor's dream. I had one hardware mishap, but it was repaired the next day by Common.net. They wanted to basically put a different, not this unit, but a different unit in the box.
Okay.
I suspect Common will shortly condense the big box full of stuff into one actual box that contains the PoE stuff and all of the intelligence.
Build their own thing.
Because right now they give you, they give you a 5 gigahertz antenna, the box on the roof, the computer that controls the software,
and they install it all for you.
And they install it all for you, and they give you an Ubiquiti Unify WAP, wireless access point. This is expensive stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I expect them to sort of reduce costs by designing their own hardware and consolidating all this. I also expect that as they sign up more people, I'm going to drop from like 200 megabit glory closer to 75 or 100 meg up and down as more customers come online.
Okay.
Some real serious thoughts about this. One, Common.net is a startup. I'm lucky enough to live in the first city being wired for it. And their goal is to kind of do last mile in suburban areas. Yeah. Right? Because they're going to use wireless.
Which is very cool.
Which is very cool, because that's where there are a lot of people that want internet options. And it is incredibly expensive to, run cable or to dig holes in the ground to run cable.
Right.
So 2, Common.net is a startup. It might fail. 3, Common.net is a startup. It might get bought by Verizon or AT&T or Comcast and start to suck. And 4, I really hope it's a good business model and Common.net grows, because so far this mesh network has me making the phone call to Comcast to kill my cable internet.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Very surprising.
It's.
I was expecting with a startup that I've never heard of, especially an ISP, to just be like, oh, I don't know.
Well, it is. I mean, who knows? They could run out of money tomorrow, and then I could have to call Comcast and be like, can I have my internet back, please? And they could be like, $400 for you, unloyal trader. Which wouldn't entirely, I kid because, I've had Comcast as an internet provider for a while, but I'm curious.
Me too.
I went for it. My buddy Dom went for it, so.
I would like to hear your opinion on them, given that you will most likely be with them as long as you can, given the nice speeds and service that you've gotten so far. I would like to hear your opinion in like a few months, now that you've had it installed, after they get like maybe some more customers in and stuff like that, to see what your speeds are looking like.
I will happily give you an update.
Sweet.
Because I'm very, very curious, right? I've just cut my internet bill by almost half.
Wow.
Well, 40+%.
Yeah, I guess you are.
And I'm getting better performance.
I'm paying the same, but my performance is nowhere near that on uploads.
This is the mythical free market for internet people in Washington always talk about when they're talking about ways to basically detooth the FCC.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hashtag net neutrality.
Woo!
Let us know what you think of Common Networks and if anybody else in that one city has gotten it installed, if you just happen to live down there. And yeah, what you think of startup ISPs. Very interesting.
It is interesting. Got a question? Are you curious to see Shannon and I review something on TechThing? Maybe you got a tip or an idea you want to share with the whole audience? Please fire them all out to ask@techthing.com. And hey, if you want to be a part of the crew that makes TechThing possible, please contribute to the show at patreon.com/techthing. Just $1 will make a difference, and you'll get access to our patron-only build videos. At the $10 level, we've got monthly hangouts where you spend an hour or two with Shannon and I, and so much more. Thank you for your patronage. You make the show possible. Patreon.com/techthing. Father's Day is coming up this weekend, and which, for some strange reason, I guess either has Google or my friends thinking about parenting and the internet.
It happens.
It happens. People worry about children on the interwebs.
I worry about my cats on the interwebs.
People worry about my kids walking around the street by themselves.
Yeah, you told me that story, interestingly enough.
My
anyway,
kids
tangent
got brought
aside.
home by the police because they were taking a walk. Oh my goodness. In any case, be Internet Awesome with Google.com. It's actually beinternetawesome.withgoogle.com. Helping kids be safe, confident explorers of the online world. It's an interesting idea. Google wants to help you teach your children the fundamentals of digital citizenship and safety.
How?
Well, okay, so first of all, they've got a big guide set up here. So if you scroll through the web page, it talks about like the fundamental code of the internet. Share with care. Don't fall for fake. Secure your secrets. It's cool to be kind. You'll love this part. Personal privacy and security are just as important online as they are offline. Safeguarding valuable information helps kids avoid damaging their devices, reputations, and relationships.
Yes.
Right? Be internet brave. When in doubt, talk it out. So they've got a good fundamental set of rules. And then, of course, they have a game.
Oh, of course.
Interland.
Oh, so it's an interactive...
An interactive
training game?
Yeah, so we're in like Reality River right now, and the first question, a fisher is. And you can explore the answers.
Oh,
an
that
online
is
buddy.
so cool.
An online faker, an untrusted information seeker. Fisher, spelled funny.
Fisher spelled funny.
Okay, so we're
Just
going
kidding.
to tap here to select the answer. It might be a little slow paced depending on what kind of games your child.
Yeah, but it's kid-friendly, right?
Yeah, and this,
and then
you've
you
just
die.
Yeah, well, you sink and then you swim off and start over again. So,
Oh.
so let's do another bad answer.
Oh, that's cute.
So this is going to be one of those things where you're going to want to sit with your children and read these things out loud.
Yeah, of course. That looks really fun, actually. I think it would be really cute for kids.
It looks really good. It's not the most aggressive pace. So
No, yeah, it's slow paced, but I think that's okay if kids are like trying to learn something new, especially if they're younger too.
Yeah, don't throw your children at this and be like, I'm done with educating you about safety on the internet. You probably already know that because you're watching our show.
Let Google teach you.
Google will don't worry, just trust Google, kids.
I should make my cats take this.
You should. I've heard about your cats and their browsing and their downloading habits and that Trojan.
Oh man.
Torrents.
Malware.
Cats and torrents. But
it's really interesting.
Interesting option. Links in the show notes. Wanted to share that with y'all because we were also talking about you wanted to do a gifts for Father's Day.
Yes.
Like tech gifts for Father's Day, and all I could think is the last thing I want to do is be configuring something on Father's Day. And that said, I know there are people out there like, I'd really like a Sonos speaker. I'd really like a new television. But because I am who I am and slightly evil, I went on Twitter and said, Father's Day tech gifts you don't want, go. I just want to say this right now. Nobody wants LED ties.
Are we surprised about this at all?
Oh, John Haney, the Internet of Things connected nose trimmer. Door-to-Door Geek says anything, just give me a gift card. Talking Bass Fish, light up ties, crappy MP3 players, bad headphones, monster cables. Jay Clark has a good one. Anything requiring a subscription to keep enjoying.
Yes, great point.
Anything Internet of Things. Remember the S in Internet of Things is for security. Yeah. Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, fidget spinner with Bluetooth, Samsung phone. I'll just stop. Oh. CJ says, I like cake and pie though. Techno Hermit, and we should point out they've been a sponsor. He says he doesn't want a large iFixit kit, and he says he's applying reverse psychology there.
Yes.
Bluetooth razor, fidget spinner may have been the #1 mentioned item.
Yeah.
A Palm Pilot, and then Rob Reynolds says, that's funny, I'd love a Palm Pilot. Another USB 2.0 hubs. Kids, get your parents USB 3.0 hubs.
Oh, that's so funny.
I'm not even going to address that one.
They just kept on going.
Yeah, it went on for a while.
Okay.
There's some amusing answers in there. But yeah, anything that requires batteries, anything that requires USB charging, and we got several no LED ties. So apparently there are geek parents that have been victimized with LED ties.
Well, so. I did come up with a couple of things that you might want to get your dad. And one of them actually agrees with one of your followers. I found the iFixit Essential Electronics Toolkit. I actually used this recently on the System 76 upgrade build video that I did. So check that out on YouTube if you haven't seen it yet. And this was so handy for that little upgrade that I did. So, and it's cheap. So yeah.
We mentioned
you might like it.
iFixit has been a sponsor, but I have one of those in my desk at work.
Yeah.
I bought one for my wife. I bought one for my kids. It's a fantastic.
It's just handy to have. Yeah. So I like having it around. The other thing that I found, and I actually heard about this a while back, and I was thinking about getting one for my husband, even though he's not a father. So I was like, this is cool.
He's a cat daddy.
He's a cat dad. It's a GrillBot, automatic grill cleaner.
So replace 2 minutes of work with a grill brush with a $90 device that probably does a crappy job.
Dude is lazy, so I was like, you know, he might really like something that allows him to be even lazier. And every video I've seen of this has been complimentary.
Okay.
So everybody seems to like it. And the last thing I found goes with the GrillBot as well. This is a wireless thermometer for your grill.
Those are actually pretty cool.
And this also allows you to be lazy because then you can just, you know, like this guy, he's reading his magazine while he's checking the temperature far away from the grill.
Did you just point to an ad?
I think so.
I don't know. I would verify the range in real life, but I used to have a wireless thermometer. They actually are pretty fancy. Mine eventually didisintegrated and I never replaced it.
Yeah.
Because we have such a small yard now. It's not like I have to go to the South 40.
Yeah, you don't really need it, but
but it is nice.
Maybe if you're like cooking stuff on the stove while you're also running the grill right outside, like you might want to keep an eye on the temperature.
I'm torn between I can wander into the house and use my Bluetooth internet connected thermometer, or I can just walk my ass out with a drink in one hand and poke it with my instant read thermometer.
There you go.
And so, and we made recommendations on inexpensive instant read thermometers that you can get on Amazon.com. We'll put that link in the show notes.
And I guess that would be my analog pick of the week this week is go out and do some barbecuing.
Yes.
Man, it's fun times. I love
better
barbecue.
Yet, make your kids barbecue for you if you're a dad.
There you go. Happy Father's Day.
Kids can't
make
cook.
Make your kids barbecue.
In which case, do it yourself.
Unless they're his kids' age. I feel like they're a little young for the barbecue.
You'd be amazed what my kids can do.
They might taste good, though.
My 5-year-old baked eggs. He's now 5. He was a little over 3 at the time. It's a long story. He didn't burn the house down. We were very thankful.
I can't even cook, and I'm 31. So anyway.
I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Shannon Morse.
We'll see you next week on Tech Thing.
I can make some tacos, some mean tacos.
Hard shell or soft shell?
Hard shell.
Are you doing
I
taco mix?
I cook those shells. myself, and I make them very specific way. Yeah, my mom taught me.
You don't
I do
get
them on
like
the
the
stove.
yellow Ortega shells?
No, not the warm-up ones. I get like the soft ones that you actually Crisco the crap out of on your stove, and they taste amazing.
Everything tastes better with lard. Somebody went into my fridge and was like, "Is that mayo?" And they picked up like, "You have a jar of lard?" I'm like, "You've never cooked with lard?"
Duh. You're obviously not from the South.
Oh my goodness. So, barbecue. We gotta talk about barbecue in Northern California, common the lack thereof. Actually, let's not put you to sleep with that one. I'm just saying. Hey, thank you to all of our patrons
Thank you.
who make this possible. Thanks everybody watching.
Thank you.